you are able to recognize their voices when they speak. I'll start off by introducing the chairperson of the energy regulator, Mr. Thembani Bukula. Mr. Bukula, may you please convey your greetings?
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bukula. I will then introduce Advocate Nomalanga Sithole, who is the CEO of NERSA, the member of this subcommittee and other committees of the regulator. Advocate Sithole.
Good morning, Chairperson, and everyone who has joined us for this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Advocate Sithole. And then next, I would like to introduce another member of this subcommittee, Mr. Muzuvukile Mkhize, who is the member primarily responsible for petroleum pipelines, the member of this committee and other committees of the energy regulator. Mr. Mkhize.
Good morning, Chairperson and everyone in attendance, as well as members of the public that are following us through the various live streaming platforms. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mkhize. Members, we have a proposed agenda. We have 3 matters for this meeting, and then we get to the governance matters. By show of hands, members, if you are in support of the proposed agenda for the 3 matters to discuss or deliberate on. Thank you, Mr. Bukula. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. I also support. Thank you, Advocate Sithole. Thank you, members. Members, we also would like to remind you to complete your declaration forms, and the forms have been uploaded on Convene. If you can kindly remember to fill them up and submit to the Secretariat. With that, members, I would like to go straight then to the substantive matters on the agenda. We're starting with item number 5 of the agenda, being the application by ArcelorMittal South Africa for the NPA, and the matter is before us for the energy regulator to make a determination. The team, if you can please clarify, starting exactly what is before us, what kind of application it's brought in terms of what section of the framework and what NERSA is required to determine. And then what assessment you have done, please, in that format.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Proceed, ma'am. Proceed, it's fine. Thanks.
Okay.
You may proceed, Mr. Matebula, just to lay exactly what we have stated in terms of the jurisdiction, what is before us, what it came under what section of the framework, so that it is clear why the matter is before us. Then Ms. Mabinya will deal with the specifics. Thank you.
Chair, thank you. The issue that we are dealing with this morning, Chair, it's a submission that we have received as the energy regulator from AMSA, which is ArcelorMittal South Africa, where they were communicating their 6-year negotiated price agreement application that they submitted to Eskom, which was rejected by Eskom. And they required that the energy regulator make a determination on whether Eskom should be engaging in the NPA agreement with them or not, based on the reasons that Eskom had actually provided. And this is in accordance with Section 2.6 of the Energy Regulator Delegation Matrix of the 29th of August 2024 to recommend to the energy regulator to approve applications for NPAs. And Chair, I need to maybe proceed and indicate that this started in September, October of 2024, where ArcelorMittal made a submission to Eskom for a 6-year NPA for their Newcastle and Vanderbijl Works steel manufacturing plants to allow Eskom to make a consideration in terms of the approved framework. So it is on that note, Chair, that I will ask my colleague, Ms. Mabinya, to proceed and indicate the route that this process had taken and how we arrived at the recommendations that we are making today to this committee.
Thank you, Chairperson, if I may just touch on the consultation process, that a complete consultation process has been followed, where we published the application, the AMSA application, the NASA, the ESCOM rejection submission, and the consultation paper. No written comments were received from any stakeholders. We then proceeded and held a public hearing on the 17th of July, where both AMSA and Renew Consulting presented at the public hearing in support of this application. However, Chairperson, I'd like to bring to the attention of the committee that ESCOM is the supplier of electricity to AMSA, as well as the licensee that submitted the recommendations to reject, did not partake at the public hearing. Chairperson, what is before us is that we are assessing in terms of the qualification criteria, whether AMSA qualifies in terms of section 7 of the NPA framework. And in doing this assessment, we've looked at all the criteria, all 5 criteria of the framework. And the analysis is detailed on Annexure H, page 15, page 13, sorry, of Annexure H. And our findings are that in terms of all the criteria, these application qualify. However, we've noted that the criteria used by ESCOM to reject this application was not made objectively, because it didn't look at issues of competitiveness in SA and maintaining current employment levels as required by the framework. And also, Chairperson, we've also noted that the interpretation between ESCOM and AMSA is different. And it clearly shows that the framework itself has gaps in it, which will need to be then discussed with the policymaker. And on that, Chairperson, then we would like to make recommendations to the committee that ELS notes AMSA's petition submission in terms of section 12.12 of the framework for the 2 applications for a 6 NPA for both its Newcastle and Vanda Bay Park Steel manufacturing plants, to note ESCOM's rejection of the AMSA's application for the Newcastle and the Vanda Bay Park Steel manufacturing plants, and to recommend to the energy regulator to approve AMSA's application that it meets the eligibility criteria stated in the NPA framework, and to recommend to the energy regulator to approve the decision and the reason for decision on AMSA application for 6-year NPAs for both Newcastle and the Vanda Bay Park manufacturing plants. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mavinya. Members, the submission is before you. Any questions of clarity, members? By show of hands, and the recommendations have already been read out. Mr. Mkize, please go ahead.
Yes, just one question from my side. Thanks to the presenters. Are these criteria considered as one package, that in the sense that all of them need to be met, or they are considered on a balance of scales? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mkize, for that question. Mr. Murati, may you please respond to the question? Mr. Murati?
Good.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Murati.
Good morning, Madam Chair and regulator members and fellow colleagues. Just by looking in terms of how they probably giving them the effect of the interpretation of law, by virtue of how they are written. They are written to be independent of each other. They are not provided as a continuation where they will use a semicolon, because in the interpretation of statutes, that is very material. There is no semicolon to show that it is a continuous. You need to be reading all those elements together. They are written all with a full stop to show that you read them independent of each other. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Murati, for that response. Mr. Mkhize, are you happy with the clarification?
I'm not actually covered. Just if they are independent, does it mean that if one is not met, then that materially affects the decision in the sense that not all the criteria are met, or they need all to be met? And whatever interpretation that we have, if we've considered then the precedents being set. Thank you.
Mr. Murati, will you please come in?
Thank you, Chair. From my reading and probably the guidance that can be given is that they are independent. So they are not supposed to be determined collectively to say the applicant needs to satisfy the five. They said the applicant has to satisfy each because it is linked to a separate activity, that they are not they are not of similar events, these characters, these eligibility characters. So therefore, from our reading and application is that the applicant needs to satisfy each, and then the licensee will exercise discretion on the basis of whether is there any prejudice or any distortion that could arise, because that is the determining factor. Is there any distortion that could arise from the tariff structure if that applicant is considered eligible for that NPA? So they are applicable. They apply independent of each other. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Murati, for providing that clarification. Mr. Mkhize, I think also in the past, it was not taken all of them, that each and every element has to be there for each application to be considered to be eligible under the framework. Just want to say that in terms of the consistency of the energy regulator in applying the framework itself, or in implementing the framework, or even ESCOM bringing applications before the regulator with regards to the qualification of the applicants in terms of the framework. I think that also is quite important that it be mentioned, because our decisions are supposed to be consistent when we're dealing with applications before us. Mr. Mkhize, did you get the response that is adequate?
Yes, I've gotten the response that it's a balance of scales, in other words, which then means that there must be some attached weight to each and every one of them, such that one then can come to the conclusion that despite others not being met, then we'll still go with the need for support, especially considering what is under 4.7 in terms of the reasons that have been provided by ESCOM. In other words, countering those decisions, those reasons, then becomes the key thing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mkhize. With that, then, members, and with the clarification, members, the recommendations have already been read to the record. I would like to then ask the members to show their support for the recommendations to the energy regulator regarding the application brought by ArcelorMittal in terms of clause 12.12 of the framework. By show of hands, members. Thank you, Mr. Bukula. Thank you, Advocate Stolle. also support. Mr. Mkhize, are you happy to support the recommendations?
I would abstain primarily because of 4.7.7, because it's not so clear to me as to what else has AMSA done that will assist in terms of ensuring viability, because the tariff alone, the rebate alone, doesn't seem to be the lifesaver. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize, for that, for expressing your views. You said is 0.7. What part did you not agree with, Mr. Mkhize? Because we've got the noting of AMSA's petition. We also have the noting of ESCOM's rejection, which is another decision. We've got the recommend to the energy regulator to approve AMSA's application that it has met the eligibility, and that is not to say enter into an agreement, but to indicate that discharging our mandate with regards to whether or not it met the eligibility criteria in the NPA, and then to recommend the energy regulator to approve the decision and reasons for decision. Which part, Mr. Mkhize, just for the record?
Support the noting. Thank you.
You support the noting?
Yes, Chair.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Mkhize. Members, we then proceed to the next item on the agenda. The next item is the NRS standards. If you can please introduce the matter.
Thank you very much. The purpose of the submission, Chair, is to request the Electricity Subcommittee to approve Edition 3 of the National Rationalized Specification, which is commonly known as NRS 048-6. This standard actually deals with the measurement and reporting of medium voltage network interruption performance. So when this document was developed by the NRS committee and referred to the regulator for adoption and or approval, such documents have legal effect under Section 35 of the ERA and once considered by the regulator. So, Chair, we received this revised document. We published it for stakeholder input. However, none was received. And the document itself, Chair, is developed to address the electricity industry needs for a national code of practice for the medium voltage network interruption performance reporting by distribution licensee in the country, South Africa. So, Chair, the distribution licensee in South Africa operate and maintain their medium voltage networks to ensure the reliability and availability of electricity for their customers. And the two indices that are used to measure the reliability and availability of electricity supply talks to the System Average Interruption Duration Index, which is commonly known as SAIDI, and the System Average Interruption Frequency Index, which is also commonly known as SAIFI. And these indices allow distribution licenses to qualify and benchmark the reliability of their distribution network. And NERSA can also use SAIDI and SAIFI targets to incentivize distribution licensees to maintain and improve reliability. The indices also assist in identifying weak areas in the network that could benefit from upgrades or maintenance to reduce the frequency and duration of outages. Chair, it is therefore on that note that we would like to make a recommendation that the subcommittee approves this edition 3 of the NRS together with its reason for decision, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Matebula. Members, the matter is before you for consideration. Any questions of clarity? By show of hands, members, if you do have. Mr. Bugula, please go ahead.
Chairperson, it's not a question of clarity. One is I just want to express my appreciation from the colleagues in the covering submission of having done a good benchmark to show where we are, where we need to go to. And the second one, Chairperson, is I am in support of the additions or revisions that have been made on the NRS document itself. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bugula. Advocate Sithole.
Thank you, Chairperson, and thanks to the presenters. Chair, mine is just a point under paragraph 12.13 on communication, which is, are we going to be giving the actual standard to the licensees because we need to communicate it to them, or will they have to buy it from SABS or SANS? I just wanted to get that particular clarity. Thank you.
Thank you, Advocate Sithole. Tim, may you please respond to the question of clarity from Advocate Sithole? And thank you very much also the appreciation that came from Mr. Bugula in the analysis of this matter. Mr. Huber.
Good morning, Chair and members and the colleagues. To answer Advocate Sithole, yes, when the standard gets approved, it will be communicated to the licensees, and it will also be communicated through the NRS committees, which comprises of all the 8 metros, as well as the AMEU, which is the Association of Municipalities. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Advocate Sithole, are you happy with that response?
Chairperson, I noted, but I just wanted to know that the copy itself, because I do know that sometimes licensees are expected to buy the copy from SABS and not getting it free. So that was the point I was asking. But I will engage Mr. Hopper outside as it is just an operational matter that I thought I could get an answer now. But I'll talk to him outside of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Advocate Sithole, for that. Members, I would like to take you to the decision, and the decision that is sought from the Electricity Subcommittee is for the committee to approve Edition 3 of the NRS 048-6 electricity supply, quality of supply. It is focused on the measurement and reporting of medium voltage network interruption performance. By show of hands, members, if you are in support of this recommendation. Thank you, Advocate Sithole. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Thank you, Mr. Bugula. I also support. You have your decision, Mr. Matebula. The last matter is the quarterly report. May you please present the quarterly report?
Chair, thank you very much. This, Chair, it's a report. It's a quarterly report on monitoring and auditing of the state of compliance for the licensees. Chair, we just want to provide feedback on the work that we have done as the regulator with regard to this activity. Chair, we conducted an audit on the first quarter on 6 licensees as stipulated or indicated under Table 2, and we have also indicated a summary of non-compliances that we actually discovered during this process. And probably to state on record, Chair, the audit was done at Kai Harib, Kwadukuza, Mukaka, Mossel Bay, Ulundi, and Wetzenbeck. That is where we conducted this audit, and we have listed the number of findings that we actually have, with an intention, Chair, that this will be referred to the tribunal for further processing, in the same vein assisting us obviously also to comply with the requirement of the ERA. So, Chair, on that note, Chair, we would like to request that the subcommittee note the first quarter report on the electricity distribution compliance audit, and also note the instances of non-compliance identified at the different licensee sites, which is Sky, Harib, Kwadukuza, Makaha, Mossel Bay, and Ulundi local municipality, and also to recommend the referral of the non-compliance findings, Chair, to the energy regulator to sit as a tribunal to consider whether to issue notices of non-compliance in accordance with Section 18 of the ERA. So, Chair, that in a nutshell, it's our report on the first quarter audit on non-compliance audits that we have conducted.
Thank you, Mr. Matebula. Members, the quarterly report is before you for consideration. Any questions of clarity, any other guidance on this matter? By show of hands, members, if you do have. Mr. Mkiza, you may go ahead.
Thank you, Chairperson. Thanks, Mr. Matebula, for the presentation. Just noting that this is what happened in the past. I would just like to know if there's been any movement in terms of addressing those findings from the licenses up to now, like, for example, provision of information, bulk payment being maybe updated. Just wanted that update. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Mr. Bukula?
Thank you, Chair. One is just a minor correction that on the summary table, I think the OSH Act doesn't request that they have an appointed person. It requires them to do that. And if we could correct that. And the second one is really that when we talk about that they're not supplying in their areas listed in that, I do not have a feel as to whether they are supplying other areas that are not listed or they are not supplying the areas that are listed. So if we could just maybe be pointed to that point that clarifies that. I didn't see it, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Bukula. Advocate Stole?
Thank you, Chairperson. Thanks to the presenter. Chairman, it's a procedural issue. I do not see any indication in the submission that says that the report were shared with the licensee, whether as the first or the second part of the audit process. And I thought that process was critical prior to us sending these licensees to the tribunal. So I'm not seeing that being elaborated on in the submission. Maybe I have missed it, but I would like to be guided to where it is. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Advocate Sithole. Ms. Gobe, may you please assist with the responses?
Thank you, Ms. Maseti. Good morning, and thanks to Mr. Rulani for saying everything I wanted to say. Talking about we want to appreciate the comment from Mr. Bukula on the OSH Act. We have noted that comment, and then he asked a question about the areas of supply. So when we say they do not operate in their correct areas of supply, it is because in some cases we have not yet done the GIS in those areas, and they will, as an example, say that our other area is area A that we're supplying, but it doesn't reflect yet at in the license. So I think there is a process to update all the licenses via the GIS process. And Ms. Sithole asked about the sharing of the reports. The reports are only shared with the CEO after the reports have been noted. So after this noting, we will then do the implementation And the final reports will go to Ms. Sitole to sign, and then they will be sent to the licenses. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me just check if members are covered. I know that the points from Mr. Bugula have been covered, and also for the points from Advocate Sitole. Mr. Mkhize, let me just check if you are also covered.
So I did not get no movement. In other words, there's been no improvement. I didn't get that. Maybe I missed it.
Mr. Mkhize Jr.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning to yourself, Chairperson, and to the members and colleagues. Just to answer Mr. Mkhize, Chair, I would just say in general, with respect to the distribution industry, there has been a general regression and not really improvement with regards to the level of compliance. But indeed, we are focusing more now on ensuring that there is improvement by identifying those licensees that are not improving with regards to compliance. And then in the next financial year, we will be focusing more on those rather than just doing audits at random. So yes, Mr. Mkhize, the focus will be on those that are not improving in terms of compliance. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Mr. Mkhize, this is an area that the division is really paying attention to. There will also be space for others so that should there be new instances of non-compliance, there's no focus just on the previous one, because you need to also adopt preventative measures in terms of compliance. But yes, there will be emphasis on the repeat findings because you expect improvements. So for those that are not complying, even after the regulator has made it clear to them that they are breaching license conditions or they are contravening the Act, then there has to be deterrence through a strong message from the energy regulator in terms of doing what is within its powers. So the regulator will do that. However, it does not mean that it should not prevent non-compliance or ensuring voluntary compliance by all licensees in terms of the message that it conveys out there. So it's really part of the enforcement strategy that the division is going to look into. So this is an area that we really have to pay attention to and make sure that the efforts are strengthened in this area. Thank you for that. Members, if there are no further questions, the recommendations were read on record. I would like to now check if the members are in support of the recommendations. By show of hands, members, if you are in support of the recommendations. Thank you, Mr. Bugula. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Thank you, Advocate Sitole. I also support. Thank you very much, members. This is the last report or submission to be discussed in the open part of the meeting. I would like to close this part of the meeting now and to just thank the stakeholders that have tuned in to follow the proceedings. We thank you for taking interest in our matters and ensuring that decisions are reached through a robust discussions and everything, and that the fact that we regulate in the sunshine, as our colleagues like to say. Thank you very much for your time. We're now going to consider governance matters. The meeting is closed.